Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my dark knights. We are live. How you guys doing? And sorry about that. I am back. How you guys doing? Welcome to the Batbran NFL Week in Review. I got a brand new setup, as you guys can see. I got all the NFL games on tap so I can pull up research or anything like that right in front of me. And how you guys doing? If you guys do enjoy me doing these weekly NFL reviews and whatnot, go ahead and hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And come on down in the chat. I really do appreciate you guys coming on out. And we had our finale of the Pokemon. One sec. Sorry about that. Someone was randomly calling me. Don't you guys hate when people that you don't know call you and they're just like telemarketers or people trying to get you to vote on election day and all this different stuff? Or it's annoying. It truly is annoying. But anyway, how you guys doing? This was a week in review of NFL week number 9, as you guys can see up at the top. And the first game was Thursday Night Football, was Raiders and the 49ers. Basically, the two worst teams in NFL right now facing off, and it was terrible to watch. It really was. And let me just say, if you're a Raiders fan, you're looking forward to the number 1 overall pick, and all the draft is going to be very exciting for you, because you got beat by a third-string quarterback. You got rid of you waived Bruce Irving, who is literally your second-best defensive player to that point, and you literally have no defense now, no offense behind Derek Carr, and you lose to a third-string quarterback. Yeah, John Gruden's just doing a real great job, but I really think that give him some time. I think this was his plan. He wanted this team to tank from the beginning, so he could take it, mold it into his image, give it at least 2 or 3 years, and you're probably going to see a team that's elite, or I could be eating my words and they could just fall apart. But the Chris Mullins, though, was the highlight of the game. As you guys can see, Chris Mullins threw for 262 passing yards and 3 touchdowns and had a 151.9 passer rating. For a quarterback that has never stepped foot into an NFL, that's fantastic for a quarterback that just is first ever time setting foot on a NFL field. He just goes out there and balls. I honestly think the rest of the way, you're out of the playoffs already, playoff contention already. Start the young kids. See what you got. Might as well see what you got. I mean, C.J. Beathard really hasn't been doing fantastic up to this point. And you're already destined to have a top 5 pick this year, so might as well go for it. Might as well. It's the best thing you can possibly do. I don't think really everyone on the Raiders offense just stunk. 49ers wise, I really didn't care much for that game. So we're going to just move on to the next game on the list, and it was the Steelers and the Ravens. What a great game that was. Another typical Steelers and Ravens game. But the Steelers, as you can see, did come out on top. 23-16. Antonio Brown is heating up finally once again. So if you have him in fantasy, you're thinking, why is he starting off slow? Well, he is not anymore. He is on fire now. And let's get into the stats here. Let's really delve in deep here and see what we got here. Let me move this to the middle. We're going to scroll down. It was a good game, all in all. The scoring drives really, the Ravens did, like, in the first quarter, they got out to that lead. They looked like they were good. It was going to be typical, like the first game. The Ravens would go out, have a good game, go out and just dominate like they did in the first game. And then Ben Roethlisberger came back around, and James Conner had another great game. I want to look at his stats after that we're done with this. And then they kind of broke it open with that 14-3. They come back at right before halftime, get a field goal. They could have had that touchdown, but too many miscues, too many missed opportunities, wide receivers dropping passes, whatnot. It killed him in the end, and then Big Ben sealed it pretty much in the third quarter. There was no coming back after that. But still, they made it interesting. They, at least near the end, around 3 minutes left, but they just couldn't get that last score. We're going to jump into the stats here, as you guys can see. But the problem that I'm worried about, Big Ben got hit really hard on one play against Zadarius Smith, I believe. He got hit real hard on one play, and it didn't look good. It did not look good. I thought he got hurt really bad. But he got back up and he kept playing. He got out for one play, and Josh Dobbs threw an amazing pinpoint accurate pass to, I think, was it to Juju? I think it was to Juju Smith-Schuster. And it was a great catch, and then he came back in. So, it all worked out, but you got something. They got a quarterback controversy once Ben leaves because, Dobbs is going to be good, and then you got Mason Rudolph, who is pretty much the heir apparent that they drafted to basically overtake and become the star of the offense, the star of that team for the next 10, 15 years. So, but Pittsburgh did win. With that, I think the Ravens are out of the AFC North title picture. The Steelers are still a force to be reckoned with in the AFC, but right behind them is the Cincinnati Bengals. So they really can't mess up. I really think it's going to come down to that last week of the season where it's going to be against them or the Steelers, and whichever wins gets the title. I honestly think that. And that'll be very interesting. But Conner had another great game, 107 yards rushing. Honestly, I see it this way. Bell might as well just forget about coming back. His deadline is November 13th, if I'm thinking correctly. I don't think he's going to come back. And if he doesn't, there's reports saying that they can still give him a transition tag, and the Steelers could tag him again. And let me just say, if they tag him again, I would be ticked. I would be so, like, 3-4 years in a row you get tagged, and I'm telling you, it's getting bad. And I think the best thing what they should do is they should just trade him. The Colts have interest, the Jets have interest, maybe even a team like, I wouldn't trade him to your rival, but a team like the Browns probably would go after him. Dolphins would go after him. A lot of different teams would go after this guy. So as long as he doesn't go to the Patriots, that's all I hope. Yeah, even James Conner had 7 catches too, so he had a great game all in all. So, but Antonio Brown, I don't know what to think about Antonio Brown. He'll put up like a whole bunch of points, and then the next week he'll put up that stat line like he did right here, 5 for 42 for a touchdown. That's not AB. That's not the AB we know. But then again, the game script did come down to Connor, and they're really heavily coming down on him, and it is paying dividends right now for them in game week to week basis. So, moving on to my favorite matchup of the week, and you guys will see that here. The Bears and the Bills. The Bears dominated the Bills and showed Bills Mafia how it's done. And dude, no Mac, no back, and they, and as you guys can see right there, 5-3, halfway point of the season for first time since 2013. That feels good to say. It feels real good to say, and I think they're a playoff team this year. Maybe a wild card. I don't see them winning the division. The Vikings are too good, but the Packers are losing, which I'll get into that later. But then the Packers keep losing, and the Lions keep losing. So really, it's us and the Vikings right now. So if we can beat the Vikings, which we normally beat them, I think we got a shot. I think we got a shot to win this division this year. But I'm gonna jump into the really get into it, and they dominated from go. The Bears defense was absolutely on fire. Okay. They had a great game coming into this game. I mean, they had a great game before that against the Jets, and then playing now against the Buffalo Bills. It was literally perfect for them. Everything, the game script literally worked perfectly for this defense. They dominated from go. They had a lot of sacks on the quarterback. But I'm going to look into the stats, and I'm going to really look into that. But it all started off with Jordan Howard getting that touchdown. Jordan Howard had an excellent day. First of all, he had 2 touchdowns. He didn't have a lot of yards, but he scored touchdowns. And in fantasy, he's more of a touchdown-dependent kind of guy, but PPR is not that great. But if you want a guy that you're dependent on touchdowns, he's your guy, especially going forward. Faces the Lions, I wouldn't... Well, yeah, he faces the Lions 2 out of his next 3 weeks. He faces the Lions, who give up tons of yards to running backs, and that bodes well for him and his running partner, Tariq Cohen. The game script's going to be a lot of running here coming up soon, but I'll be honest. I think they're going to Alright, sorry about that. I'm back, though. But anyway, look at the game script. It first started off with Jordan Howard, as I said did score that touchdown. First of all, the running game was fantastic. Well, the Trubisky didn't have the best game, but I mean, their secondary against is probably the best part of the Buffalo's team, to be honest. But what happened was they scored a touchdown off the run, and then what they did was they picked Nathan Peterman off, returning for a touchdown, and then they came down and drive again, and they picked him off again, which made it 21-0, and then Jordan Howard ran in that second touchdown. From then, it was pretty much too late. We kind of just kept putting the pressure on, kept scoring. But Mr. Trubisky getting that touchdown near the end did help it. But I'm going to look into the stats here. Really look into this. Look at the Bills. I mean, look at Nathan Peterman. That's terrible. Okay? 3 picks. This guy's literally probably the worst quarterback of all time. I'll be honest. Going into some team stats. Total yards, we out averaged them completely. I would like that passing yardage to be up a little more, but the rushing yards was up there as well. But it was a defensive game for us the whole way. They had a much... oh, no, Buffalo out-averaged us completely. Oh, that's great. Well, I mean, I'll say this. Our team wasn't... I mean, we're a defensive team, definitely, but our offense needs to step it up because the fact that we got this offensive-minded coach in Matt Nagy, and our offense should be scoring points left and right, but we have these lulls where we don't do anything. But, I mean, I guess scoring, our defense is scoring a lot of points for us because, I mean, we got fumble, we got 3 picks, wow, that's a lot of penalties all game, but we did get a lot of sacks as well. As you guys can see, we put up 28 points before even halftime. I would have liked that coming from the offense, but I'll take it from the defense, guys. I will definitely take it. Now, let me bring up the stats. It's not working that well. There we go. Anyway, Mr. Trubisky, as I said, he was decent. He didn't have to do a lot, though. When you have the run game doing stuff, what you're doing, and the defense basically playing what you're playing, you can kind of play it easy, not really doing anything on offense. But, yeah, Anthony Miller having another good game, another 5 catches. Taylor Gabriel has come back down to earth. So if you have him in fantasy and you're thinking, I'm going to start him, and with no Allen Robinson, I thought Taylor Gabriel would have a fantastic game, but he didn't. And that's a shame because I really thought, but it's the Buffalo Bills defense. Tre'Davious White is much better than advertised. And the other corner that they have on the other side, very good. Their secondary is very, very well built, and it's probably the best part on that entire defense. But, I mean, when your offense sucks as bad as it does, I mean, that's expected. So it's showing from what it sees from here. Eddie Jackson got a fumble, picked it up and returned it for a touchdown. That was another one of our scores we had in this game. Tariq Cohen had a fumble. Wouldn't like to see that. That's probably why Pig. I call him Pig because he was called Pig Howard in college. He had all the touches. Mitchell Trubisky fumbling again. I would like not to see that, but the star right here. Look at this. Kyle Fuller, another pick. He's having a great season so far, and that's what I like to see. From the fact, like, we have to give Kyle Fuller the money after this season. Did we? We did. We paid him the big money, and he is proving it. by being our number one corner. I mean, he's been a shutdown corner this season. Adrian Amos, another pick, fantastic. And Leonard Floyd finally making a play on defense. I'll be honest, I've been waiting for it for a long time. I'm still waiting for that boom from him. But Khalil Mack's the star of that defense. But the fact if Leonard Floyd can pop and really have a really good season, or not season, just really have like his career, he can break out. This defense can be good for the next 5-10 years. So the sky's the limit. So moving on to the defense, Adrian Amos had a sack to go along with that great day defensively he had. Roquan Smith, he's getting better and better each week with tackling. Tackle for loss. We had a lot of tackles for loss today. Or not yesterday. And a sack for Aaron Lynch. That's good. A lot of guys that I really don't care for. But, yeah, that was that game. And it was a heck of a good game if you were a Bears fan. And if you were a Bills fan, not so much. Not so much. But we're going to move on to the Panthers and Buccaneers. And the Panthers dominated from the beginning of the game until near the end where Fitzmagic tried to bring his team back and will his team back. And he came close, but not close enough. Not near the end of the game. Let me just say the fact that it's been... Here, I'll even show you the scoring drives. If I can move my thing here. Okay, scoring drive. There wasn't any scoring in the first quarter until late with a touchdown off of Armah, the fullback. And then another score with McCaffrey. I'm so glad McCaffrey is finally back to the focal point in the offense is what he needs to be. There was a lull for like a couple 2-3 weeks where he really wasn't doing anything. And I'm finally glad that he's doing something. Especially makes me happy in fantasy knowing that he's actually performing for my team, which makes me happy. But seeing him out there doing stuff, he should be a top 5 running back every season because he's such a cool back to watch. I loved him in college, and now, like, being on the Panthers, he's literally perfect in that system. But as you guys can see, the Buccaneers came right back, scored to try and make it even, but their defense sucks. They could not stop the Panthers' offense. Curtis Samuel having a great day, along with Christian McCaffrey. I'll show you the stats. They put up 28 points in the first half on this team. They were just trying to play catch-up the whole time, as you guys can see. But Fitzmagic, I'll honestly say he deserves to be the starter of this team at the end of the season. Over Jameis Winston. Just because Fitzpatrick has proven this season he's a better quarterback than Jameis is. And now, I'll be honest, if there's one thing in the draft this year that Tampa Bay will probably go for, it's a running back, and I can see the best running back coming off the board, Benny Snell. I think this draft, the best running back is going to be Benny Snell from Kentucky. He's going to go here. I honestly see him going here, and it would make perfect sense to put him in this offense because they need a starting running back. Peyton Barber is not the answer, and they need some offensive linemen as well, so they'll probably load up on that this draft. But Adam Humphries had a good game as well. Mike Evans disappointed yet again, but he was going up against a great rookie corner in this Dante Jackson kid from LSU. I'm telling you, I say this all the time to the people I know. Even though LSU sucked on Saturday against Alabama, they push out corners, and there's another set or 3 corners that are coming out of the draft this year are coming out in the draft from LSU this year, and Grady Williams and I forget the other two corners that are in that offense, or in that defense, but they just pump out cornerbacks. The Penn State pumps out linebackers in the NFL every couple of years, or every year almost. They pump out good quality corners almost every 2 or 3 years. And just look at their track record. Tyrann Mathieu, Dante Jackson now, who's been really good. Josh Jackson, Patrick Peterson. The list goes on and on. They have had excellent corners for a long, long time, but I'm going to jump back into the stats, looking at the stats. Cam Newton had a great game yet again, and he's having a great season all in all. Considering last season he turned that ball over a lot. As I said, Christian McCaffrey back to form, his normal self, where he catches about 5 or 6 balls a game, and he runs for a touchdown or 2. And the fact that Greg Olsen is back, the importance of Greg Olsen being back in that offense is bigger than what you think it is. And that's what makes this team 6-2 at the moment, and they are dangerous. They play this Thursday night against the Steelers, and I'll be honest, I think they're going to give the Steelers another loss. I really do, because this team is built for a good run in the playoffs, and everyone in that NFC South, even Tampa Bay, are good quality teams that can beat anyone on any Sunday. But the top 3 teams are just elite, like Atlanta, Carolina, and New Orleans, which I'm going to talk about them later. But I think it's going to come down to New Orleans, Carolina, and let me tell you something. When these two teams face off, which I think they face off not on Christmas, on Thanksgiving night, when these two teams face off, dude, it's going to be a game to watch and possible game of the year. That's how good this game is going to be, I think. Next game, I don't know if I really want to... Oh, definitely want to focus on this game. The Chiefs and the Browns. The Chiefs, to me, the best team in football right now, offensively, not defensively, because defensively lately they've been decent, but I think they're playing crap teams, so it really doesn't help. The Chiefs were fantastic yet again. I'm just going to basically show you the stats, because I'm not really going to go delving deep into the scoring, because it's the Browns. They just fired Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley, and they picked up, they made Greg Williams their head coach, interim head coach. I knew this was going to be a bad game, but I didn't know it was close for a good while. As you guys can see, the scoring, I think it was like 21-15. That's close. Then the third quarter, they just broke it open and scored 13. They scored 13, 16 points to their 6, and it was another easy Kansas City win. But there's another team I still think is going to overtake them and beat them, because it's going to be deja vu all over again from last year, because this team's going to probably do it. And I'll talk about them later. But Patrick Mahomes, Kermit, I love calling him Kermit, because he sounds like Kermit the Frog to me. He had another great game. This dude's got over almost 30 touchdown passes already. 30. No one's even close to him in the rest of the NFL. I don't even think they're even in shouting distance at this point. This boy is amazing. I'll be honest, I did not think him first coming out, him doing what he is doing. He has come out of nowhere. He is possibly both fantasy MVP and MVP consideration status right now, along with Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, and maybe throw in James Conner at this point because he's had a good season too, and Alvin Kamara. But all in all, Patrick Mahomes is my favorite to win MVP. Kareem Hunt gets another 2 touchdowns as well. He's having a great season. This offense just run like a well-oiled machine. Travis Kelce is having a great year once again. He is so glad that he has Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. Everyone in this offense has good numbers almost every week. And I just hope it finally happens for Andy Reid, that he wins a playoff game with his team, and he wins several and goes into a deep playoff run. I just really want this to be the year, but I can't trust it because, yes, Andy Reid's a good regular season coach, but once it comes time for the postseason, now if he gets a bye, which right now it looks like he will get one of the first 2 byes, that's good, but divisional round. Who are you going to play divisional round? Because if you are stuck playing a team like the Chargers that are probably going to get a wild card, if Kansas City rolls through the division, because they already have a tiebreaker on the Chargers once, and if they beat them a second time, when they play them the second time and they win, I'll be honest, I think the Chargers, who are still my favorite to win the AFC this year, can do it. I still think they can do it. They have the offensive weapons that they can overpass and take Kansas City. No hating on Kansas City, I just don't think they can do it. Next, what I wanted to talk about, let me see if I can pull it up here. Is there another game? Jets and Dolphins. The Dolphins won again just to basically stay alive in the AFC wildcard hunt. It really, I don't know if Week 10 is when I really start looking at the playoff rankings, really start looking at the playoff races. Week 12 is where I really rank it up and look at where everyone's standing, standing wise and whatnot. But the Dolphins won again. Yeah, 6 win in franchise series history with 0 offensive touchdowns. They won strictly on a pick 6 and several field goals. This team is not for real. This team is not going to go anywhere. They're maybe going to finish 8-8, but right now they're just beating the teams that they're supposed to beat. Next, we had the Lions and the Vikings. Lions just a really bad team up against a possible wild card or division winner. The Vikings, this Vikings defense is almost as scary as the Bears, and when they face each other, I'm worried because this game is going to be a very difficult game to watch and to see. I don't know how I feel about it. But the Vikings, they dominated. Once again, their defense, as you guys can see, they had 10 sacks. They had a pick. They had a fumble return for a touchdown. I'll tell you this, it's going to be a very defensive game once the Bears and Vikings face each other. And that happens in 2 weeks. So, looking forward to that. And I found out recently the game got switched over to a late game slot to Sunday night. Not this week, but next week. So, I'm super excited about that. So, we're going to move on next to the Falcons and the Redskins, and that game is just more or less just if the Falcons win it, they're back in and back in the chase for a playoff spot, and they are now because they've won 3 straight games since starting the season 1-4, and this Falcons team, the offense is going to carry it. It's very clear that the offense is going to carry this team. The defense, with all their losses, is not going to do it. But the defense did really good against Alex Smith and this offense. They bottled up Adrian Peterson, which they haven't been able to bottle up runners all season, so to this point. But they did against AP and they did it in great fashion. The Redskins lose, which does help the Eagles. It does help the Cowboys. Even though the Cowboys lost last night, they still have a shot to win this division with the Redskins losing again. So anything's possible in the NFL. But another game that was very interesting was this Texans and Broncos game. The Texans have been the hottest team in football, winning 6 straight ball games since starting the season 0-3. This team had its problems against the Broncos in this game, but the fact that they won and they're leading the division, no one's close to them right now. I think the Titans are, but the Texans, they have turned it around, and I think they'll make it to the playoffs this year, and we're going to see what Deshaun Watson can do in the playoffs. But the fact that they have Demaryius Thomas now on this offense, and he had a good stat line too, along with DeAndre Hopkins. So this offense can compete with the New England Patriots. And this is a team, maybe if the Texans face the Patriots in the playoffs, I can see the Texans beating them because Bill O'Brien, he knows that team. He knows the Patriots. He knows the Patriots team. He knows Brady. He knows that team. I mean, look at what happened when the Lions faced them. The Lions destroyed the Patriots because Patricia knew what got underneath Tom Brady's skin. Bill O'Brien, ex-offensive coordinator of the Patriots. He knows how to get underneath his skin. The next game I really wanted to talk about, too, this team is sneaking under the radar right now. The Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, are sneaking under the radar, and no one's talking about them except for me, I believe, because they're just winning games and winning games and winning games, and no one is talking about them because this offense, for them, they won without Melvin Gordon for a couple games before this, and then Phillip Rivers is having a great season. They lost their first game, and then people just stopped talking about them, or their first 2 games, I believe, and people just stopped talking about them. But they have had the most underrated season because of the Chiefs. And there's other teams that are ahead of them, but this Chargers team is going to be dangerous in the playoffs, especially once they make it in. And I do think that moving forward, they are going to win the division. Quote my words on saying this. They're going to win the division, and Andy Reid's going to have to play another wild card game, and probably he's going to have troubles. I don't know, but I don't know if he will with Pat Mahomes. I think it's going to be different this time, but yeah, I think the Chargers are a dangerous team, and if there's one team and there's one quarterback that can do it against these New England Patriots and knock them off and get a different team, please, for once in the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl from the AFC this year, it's Phillip Rivers and the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, the game I really want to focus on is possibly the game of the year. And it was the Saints and the Rams. The Saints knocking off the Rams from the realms of the unbeaten. And there is no more teams that are undefeated. And really now, the Saints are the best team in all of football along with the Chiefs right now, to be completely honest. Because the fact that this team knocked off possibly the top team in all of football and did it very easily. Not really easily, but their offense I honestly thought the Rams' defense were going to be playing harder than what they have, but their defense has actually been their weakness. which is shocking to me. And I think it's because the Rams don't have Aqib Talib right now. They're really relying on Nikhil Roby-Coleman, and he is getting beat a lot. Marcus Peters actually got beat a lot on Sunday, and I'm going to get into that here because look at those numbers from Michael Thomas. 12 catches, 211 yards, and 1 touchdown. Those are all career highs. Those are amazing stats. And 1 second, I'm going to be right back with the stream. Okay, I am back. I am so sorry. But that happened. Yeah. Just had to run to the bathroom, okay? That happens. And can't exactly just quit the stream, but anyway, look at those numbers from Michael Thomas. That is amazing. He was in a factor all game long, and Alvin Kamara, at first in the beginning of the game, because I remember watching it, beginning of the game, Alvin Kamara was a factor. It was Alvin Kamara, and it was basically Alvin Kamara versus Todd Gurley, because both of them traded touchdowns in the beginning of the game, and then Kamara started scoring, and they had a good lead going forward. By the way, Drew Brees had an excellent game, and then because it was like 17 to 38. Am I reading that correctly? It's 14 to 7 after the first quarter. After that, it was 34 to 17. Yeah, they just dominated, and then they came back and they took the lead, and then they scored that field goal at the end, and beat them. Or no, they didn't score the field goal, did they? Yeah, no, they scored those points at the end, and it still wasn't enough. But what a great game for Drew Brees and all them. They needed their best to beat the best, to be honest, and LA still had a great game. I mean, Jared Goff had a great game. Todd Gurley had a good game. Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp, all three of those top wide receivers that they have had a good quality game, but what it came down to is their defense. Their defense ended up screwing them over, and that's what made them lose, honestly, and they're still going to be a factor, but this may be an NFC championship game right here. The Saints versus the Rams. I honestly see that happening, and I see the Saints winning it yet again to get to the Super Bowl, and it's going to be Drew Brees against his old team and the Chargers of Los Angeles, and you can't script a better story than that, because it's Phillip Rivers, his successor, and Drew Brees, the guy, his mentor. Oh, you can't script a more Hollywood story than that. Okay. Then we had the Sunday Night Football game in the Packers and the New England Patriots. I get sick and tired of talking about the Patriots every week, but I gotta respect what they do. The fact that they were 1-2 the first 3 weeks, or 2-2 the first 4 weeks, and they come back and do this to the Packers. The Packers not even really, I thought it was going to be more interesting, but the Patriots just showed them who was the better team. And Aaron Rodgers tried his best, but the offense just couldn't do anything. And I'll be honest, it does me my heart good as a Bears fan to know the Packers are 3-4-1, and it doesn't get any easier for them. It just gets better and better, and the Bears are gonna have a wild card, or not? They're gonna get a playoff berth this year. I really do think. But the last game I wanted to talk about was the game from last night, the Titans and the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't really watch that game, but it showed some promise. The Cowboys, yes, they're 3-5. They did lose this game, but they showed some promise, and all in all, they are still in the fight for this division. And it came down to a few plays that they probably should have got. I mean, like Brett Maher missing some field goals, and they were, I believe they were at home. They should have made that field goal. Like, come on, Maher. Like, I mean, I understand it with the rookie kicker, but they should have never got rid of Dan Bailey. They should have. And then there was a report coming out that the Saints are looking to try out Dez Bryant. Dude, if he signs with the Saints, forget it. You got Michael Thomas, Dez Bryant, Cameron Meredith, and this blooming rookie and Traquan Smith. Forget it. Forget it. That offense is going to be incredible. I mean, and I know Dez hasn't played football in a while, but still. But basically how the game went, they just got that newly acquired person, Amari Cooper, and he performed immediately. I think he had a game of, like, I'll get into the stats here later, but Dak threw the touchdown pass to him and showed that he is his number one target in the offense. And then they tie the ball game up with the Derrick Henry touchdown near the end of the first quarter. Then later on, Mariota comes around and he throws a touchdown pass to Dion Lewis. This running back tandem is the offense for Tennessee, to be honest, because once they lost Delaney Walker, they really didn't have any weapon, really. Corey Davis is a weapon, but, I mean, after him, who do you have? Because you got rid of Rashard Matthews. So, but then Dak Prescott then throws a touchdown pass near the end of the second quarter to tie it, 14-14. It looked like it was going to be a good game going down the stretch, but the second half, the scoring just stopped. The offense just stalled. It was a tale of two halves, basically. It was the offense looked really good and everything the first half, and then the second half happened, and Dallas's offense just stopped moving. And as you guys can see by the scoring drives, Mariota did it all. And Mariota by himself beat the Cowboys. Yeah, as you guys can see, Mariota scored the touchdown. He basically did it all himself. But there is some promise. There is some promise for this team, because you can say all you want, but Dak had a good game. Dak had a very good game, and he showed some confidence with Amari Cooper in there. And the fact that he has Amari Cooper, and Allen Hurns looked a lot better too now that Amari Cooper's there too. But Zeke's numbers were down yet again, but he did catch at least 4 catches, so it helped his fantasy value. He's still a good value running back. Well, what comes down to it is this Sunday night coming up, we're gonna find out if the Dallas Cowboys don't win this one, they're done. They're really done. But they're playing the Eagles, and they play the Eagles pretty good. I can see them taking one, and if they can take one here going into next week, but they're on the edge, and they can't afford to lose any more games. But I honestly think the sky's the limit for this team, and they look good. They looked a lot better on offense than what they have to this point with Amari Cooper there. It was a tale of two halves, and the second half, there was just a lot of good adjustments made by the Tennessee defense, and they just stopped Dallas stone cold. But Amari Cooper did fantastic. 5 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown. You can't really ask much better from a guy that really hasn't gotten off he hasn't really played good and had that good of a game in almost 2 years. So you want that from your wide receiver. So I'm going to look forward to next week and get into looking at that. Basically get a preview of what we're looking forward to this week. it all starts off with this Thursday night with the Panthers and Steelers. And as I said, I think the Panthers are going to beat the Steelers. They are just... The Steelers struggle against the teams from the NFC South. As you guys saw when they played... Well, they've played Tampa Bay. They struggled with Tampa Bay. At first, they started struggling with... But they normally always struggle against the Saints and the Panthers, and these are two good, really, really good teams, and I really think the Panthers are going to beat them. You can basically call this like a prediction part of the live stream. Lions and Bears. I honestly see the Bears rolling yet again, but like I know, a Lions and Bears game, going back through time, me being a Bears fan, the Lions always pull one out of their ass. They always pull one. Like the Calvin Johnson game where we escaped with a win there. No catch, non-catch, was a catch, not a catch, whatever. I think the Bears win this one. I mean, I could see them winning or losing it, and whatever, because they always play them hard. It is a division game, but I can see the Bears winning this one, and then they play. This is how weird the schedule is. They play them, and then they play the Vikings on Sunday night, and then they come around on Thursday, and they play, and which I honestly think they'll lose that one. Because they go from literally Sunday night, and they literally go back to but it works because they literally just played them. They're going to play them 2 weeks from now, and then they're going to go play the Vikings, and they're going to play them again. So it's okay because then really they're the same team that they were 2 weeks ago. So they're no different really. So I'm okay with that, and Thanksgiving is going to be awesome because the Bears play on Thanksgiving, and I love when the Bears play on Thanksgiving. Makes me a very happy fan of the Bears, and the Cowboys always play with my family and my friends are big Cowboys fans. So, and I think the nightcapper is the Saints and somebody. I'm not sure if it's Saints and Falcons or Saints and Panthers. I'm not sure with that. But speaking of the Saints, we got the Saints and Bengals, which that matchup is huge right now because the Bengals need this. And I think they can match with the Saints if A.J. Green is out there. If not, they're going to really involve heavily on Tyler Boyd and Joe Mixon. And if you have Tyler Boyd, throw him in. If A.J. Green don't play, throw him in as a wide receiver 1 with confidence. You will not be disappointed. Joe Mixon, I know Todd Gurley struggled with him, but Joe Mixon's still going to get some good targets. He's a strong runner. I think he's going to at least get a touchdown in this game. And he'll have a good game regardless. But I can just see them maybe even shutting him down too, but I don't see that happening. Then you have the Falcons and Browns. Falcons are going to win this one, hands down. Jags and the Colts. That could go either way. I'm going to go with the Colts in this one. The Colts have won two or three games straight, I think. Recently. No, I think they've won 2 or 3 games straight. And Jacksonville's just a mess right now. I honestly don't know, but the Chiefs and the Cardinals in this game, they're going to be an easier matchup. Another blowout victory for the Chiefs. Another amazing day for Kermit, a.k.a. Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City offense. Bills and Jets. I can see the Bills taking this one. But I can see that. You know what? I'm going to go with the Bills in a shocker against the Jets. Not really caring about that. But the Redskins and Buccaneers. Redskins are going to bounce back. Redskins are going to get a win. And then the Patriots and the Titans, I know the Titans want their revenge, but they're not going to get it. Now, but Mike Vrabel is another person that knows Brady well. The head coach of the Titans is another person that knows Brady well. So if there's anyone I know that could probably beat him, it's him too. So I'm crazy, but I'm kind of leaning towards the Titans beating them. But it's New England. I'm going New England. Chargers against the Raiders. Chargers hands down. They're winning that game. Dolphins at the Packers. This surprisingly becomes a must-win game for the Pack. And I mean, they're going to win it, but the fact that this is a must-win game for the Packers right now, like, they don't win this game, they're sunk right now. Like, if they go 3-6 going into Week 11, I mean, they'll get the win against the Dolphins and bounce back for sure, but say they don't. 3-5-1 looks real bad going into Week 11, and the Bears looking good and the Vikings looking good. So, and having a soft schedule going the rest of the way in the season. So, and then you have the Seahawks and Rams. Rams are going to bounce back on the Seahawks, but the Seahawks are not going to make it easy for them. And then this game, the Cowboys and the Eagles. I can see the Cowboys taking it to them. I'll be on. Okay, you know what? I'm going to say an upset. The Cowboys are going to beat the Eagles, and it's going to become very interesting going forward for them. And then, who cares about this game? The Giants-49ers. I'll give it to the Giants. A win against the 49ers. Now, and Saquon Barkley is going to run all over the 49ers. So, that has been the Batbran NFL Week in Review. If you did enjoy this, please go ahead, hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome, my Dark Knights.